Hey there, Lacey here with the Sweet Pea Chef, and are you as excited as I am about Thanksgiving coming so soon? Well, this year I've partnered with Bob's Red Mill to bring you a really easy and delicious Southern sweet potato pie that is so good and your guests won't even know how healthy it is. So let's get started. All right, so first we're gonna make a healthier crust. In order to do that, instead of using all-purpose flour and butter, we're gonna be using Bob's Red Mill's whole wheat pastry flour and some coconut oil. To get the coconut oil to harden, just go ahead and spread out some of it on a sheet of parchment paper or anything flat that you can then transfer into the freezer and let it freeze for about 15 to 20 minutes to harden. Now, in a food processor, we're gonna combine the Bob's Red Mill whole wheat pastry flour, sea salt, and some coconut sugar. Now pulse the food processor a few times to get everything nicely mixed. Then we're gonna grab our hardened coconut oil from the freezer and then we're gonna break it up with our hands a little bit. Then place it into the food processor along with the other ingredients, and then we're going to process a few times trying to get that coconut oil broken up into about pea-sized pieces. If you don't happen to have a food processor, you can still do this the old-fashioned way with using a pastry cutter or just some knives and cutting everything up. All right, now we're gonna add a little bit of ice cold water, tablespoon by tablespoon, and then pulse in between. What we're looking for here is for the dough to just start to stick to itself so that when you get your fingers in there and you pinch it, that it actually holds together. Now we're gonna transfer that mixture out of the food processor and onto a clean, flat surface, and using your hands, just shape it into a disc. Wrap that disc with a little bit of saran wrap and then place it into the fridge for about 10 minutes just to slightly harden. Now we're gonna generously flour a clean, flat area, and we're going to get our disc from the fridge and place it out and start rolling it out to about a 12-inch circle. Make sure to continually flour both sides of the dough so that it doesn't stick to your flat surface. Now we're gonna take that rolled out pie crust, put it into a 9-inch pie plate, and just gently push everything around so that it touches the bottom and the sides of the plate and it fits all in there nice and snug. Now you wanna go around the edges of the pie plate and we're gonna cut off any excess pie crust along the edges. We want it to be about 1/4 of an inch hanging over. And then we're gonna fold the edges on top of themselves so that we have a little bit of extra padding around the sides. Now we're gonna gently use our fingers and our thumbs to make a wavy pattern around the sides. And now that's all we have to do for our pie crust. And so now we get to do our sweet potato filling. So go ahead and start preheating your oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. In a large mixing bowl, we're gonna add mashed sweet potatoes, eggs, pure maple syrup, melted coconut oil, pure vanilla extract, whole wheat pastry flour, unsweetened almond milk, ground cinnamon, ground nutmeg, and sea salt. We're gonna stir all of that together until it's evenly mixed. Now carefully transfer that mixture into our prepared pie crust, and then we're gonna smooth it out on top using a spoon. Place it in the oven and bake for between 45 and 65 minutes or until it's nicely set. You'll know that it's set when you shake it just gently and it doesn't jiggle in the middle. Then remove it from the oven and then place it on a cooling rack to cool completely and then refrigerate it for a few hours to get it nice and cold. For me, it wouldn't be sweet potato pie without some delicious whipped cream over the top. And to make that recipe, just head on over to my strawberry shortcake video because I make whipped cream using coconut milk and it's super easy and really tasty. So we're gonna top with that whipped cream and some crushed pecans and you've got yourself a pretty delicious Thanksgiving dessert right here. Thanks so much to Bob's Red Mill for sponsoring this recipe. Make sure to pick up their whole wheat pastry flour so you can use it in this sweet potato pie today. And don't forget to subscribe so you get more tasty ways to enjoy healthy foods. Thanks, I'll see you next time.